Today, somebody had asked me to take a quick look at some of the sketches I've been doing recently, so I'll do that. I've been using these, this is a tone tan and this is a tone gray sketchbook, and they've been just great, and I've loved the results that I gotten from them. I started out like in early July doing a series of cartoons. I'm working on trying to help somebody illustrate a children's book, so it's kind of just messing around with some cartoons, so we'll just take a quick look at those. So that's just a funny self-portrait guy, although my kid tells me it's not a very good likeness, but yeah, okay, so the beard's a little long. And another one, and there's a sketch of Ethan on his computer. Ethan's my son, so we're just having some fun. We have a really large cat in the house, and his name is Mr. Peppers, and so this was a funny cartoon illustrating how Mr. Peppers, the fat cat, cannot walk because his legs are too short because his body is ballooned up. And here he is kind of mad after a bath. And we have nicknamed him Jabba the Cat, so he's pretty large. And these are our two dogs. This is Gideon and this is Bear. And Bear is a mix of a St. Bernard and Collie, so he's just enormous, and this is not to scale. If it were, Bear would fill the entire page and Gideon would be here. So, but anyway, Gideon's our other dog, and he's just kind of gotten pretty old, and he's pretty frail, and he kind of shakes a lot, so he has a hard time getting around. So we've got more or less a puppy and a huge giant puppy and kind of an arthritic, ancient old dog. And then a friend of mine had asked me to do some cartoons for a t-shirt for he has a memorial horseshoe tournament every year named in honor of his mom, so I sketched up some ideas for him, and he ended up liking one or two of these and putting it on a t-shirt, so that was fun. I think there's the one he picked. So I think it was pretty close to this one. It was the one he ended up selecting, but yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that, and I enjoyed it very much. And it's kind of the hee-haw horse with the glasses. And then this coffee talk. So this is how people get together and communicate now. She's sitting there on her phone, and he's sitting there on his computer, and they're at coffee together, and they're really not communicating. So I just had fun sketching that out. There's a sketch. Yep, there it is. That's the one that they ended up putting on the t-shirt, I believe. So I haven't seen it yet, but I look forward to seeing that soon. Hopefully. Doing some pencil sketching, and I got this cool white pen that I found another artist online using, and I just thought I'd put it to good use, and there it is. Just sketching some local scenery and some pictures that I find online. If they strike me, I just try to capture a portion of them or what have you, and just had fun doing this. It's kind of Midwestern in flavor because there's a lot of grain elevators and stuff like that in the Midwest where a lot of that food is grown for the rest of the country. And farms. Yep, farms are always fun to do. This drawing, I really had a good time doing it, trying to capture the light and the shadow. And a friend of mine, a fellow artist actually, I posted this online, and she said, hey, save that one for me, so I'm going to do that. So Debbie, this is your drawing. Alright, there's a warehouse drawing, and just having fun trying different stuff with the light and the dark here. And in case you're wondering, the color here is all Japanese Copic markers, so those are really fun to work with, and sometimes a combination of watercolor. And again, I'm probably overusing the white gel pen, but I just find it fun. Then I started down on the road on these church drawings to try to do a series of local churches and sketch and draw those. Now the idea here is not to spend you know, days and days or whatever on every drawing. It's just try to knock out a quick sketch and, you know, add in some detail and then throw some color on here. And so this is the cathedral in St. Paul, Minnesota. Pretty interesting building to draw. This is another one, the Assumption Church in St. Paul, and just love the idea of the towers with the clocks on them. And there's clocks on 3 sides, I believe, so you can see it no matter which direction on the main streets that you're walking, coming, going. So, and back when the Assumption was built in the 1800s, clocks were a good thing. They were kind of a novelty. Not so much maybe a novelty, but it was good to have clocks up on public buildings or churches, or you know what time it was. Here's another St. Agnes Church in St. Paul, which is fun to sketch. It's a little bit different type of architecture, but still really fun. I had a hard time trying to figure out exactly how to capture like copper that's turned green. I don't think I quite have the pen color down yet, but some of the fascia, or whatever you want to call it here, this metal work along the edges of the building is also copper and is turned green. It was hard to distinguish between the green of the grass and the trees. So anyway, definitely a different color in person. When you're trying to capture it in a drawing, maybe a little tougher. Another church in St. Paul. Had fun sketching this one, although lots of the angles were awkward, and the church is on a hill, so it made it an extra challenge to kind of get the angles right, because if you don't have that tilt just right, or you mess up a line or two, it can look disproportionate and doesn't look right. For instance, the angle of this whole top part should actually be pulled out a little bit and given some more angular treatment, I guess you will, if you will. But lots of fun practicing on this. And then the more recent church I did here was, this is the Church of Hope, the Presbyterian Church, I think, or the Hope Church, something like that. Sorry, I can't remember the name offhand, but just up on Summit Avenue in St. Paul, and I just I loved the angles and kind of gothic look of the side of the church, and big windows in it, and just adding these shadows in. And there was just enough of the sun coming down to highlight the brickwork. So yeah, that's some recent stuff, and again, this is all Copic markers, and I know these are mostly architectural in nature, but I just have a whole lot of fun sketching architectural stuff, and great time doing that. So hey, thanks for checking it out. I hope you get some time to try. Cool.